Hey, everybody, we're live at the Paste Studios in New York right now with Matt Andersen from all the way outside of Halifax to here today on this rainy day in New York. Matt, thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for coming back, man. It was one of the only sessions that I have missed in the entire history of this thing. Was the one when you came in the first time. I was in Norway, and now we are both here. Very glad we got a second opportunity to have you come and play. And so you're going to do 3 songs off of Halfway Home by Morning. Congratulations. That's out in the world on True North Records.
Yeah.
And can you tell us what you're going to do first?
This song is called Take Me Back, and I know growing up, it seemed like I couldn't wait to get away from home, but now that I've gotten older, I can't wait to get back home. I left home before the harvest, before the hard work would start. My old man was disappointed, and I broke my mother's heart. I left home for all the reasons the young men always do. A town like this gets you believing this is all there is for you. So take me back where they're still waiting. Take me back where my heart still beats, where they always leave the light on and the door is open to me. I left home with all the confidence of a fighter in his prime. Any hand that I was offered, I was quick to push aside. So take me back where they're still waiting. Take me back where my heart still beats, where they always leave the light on and the door is open to me. Take me back where they know me better. Take me back away from it all, where they're always there to catch me, no matter how far I fall. No matter how far I fall. If you see me and I'm broken, help me get back home. I'm not as strong as I was hoping, no, not on my own. So take me back where they're still waiting. Take me back where my heart still beats, where they always leave the light on and the door is open to me. Take me back where they know me better. Take me back away from it all, where they're always there to catch me, no matter how far I fall. No matter how far I fall. No matter how far I fall.
All right. Thank you, Matt.
No worries.
Yeah. So you got a little bit of a chance to peruse the tapes here at the studio. It always seems like such a natural question to talk. I mean, since we're surrounded by 50 plus years of rock and roll history here, to talk about who you were influenced by when you were growing up, or who you were listening to maybe when you were writing the album Halfway Home. Who are some of the artists that have influenced you the most?
Growing up, probably one of the biggest ones for me was CCR. John Fogerty was always that triple threat, singer, player, writer. Always loved that stuff. Yeah, a lot of classic rock and whatever my brothers had in their tape collection, really. At home, our radio stations were either, top 40 or country kind of thing, or a classic rock station. So there wasn't a whole lot of new music coming in. So, yeah, lots of like classic country I grew up on. And then, getting older, just kind of digging into lots of different things once I started traveling around, hearing way more music and playing with different musicians. And getting ready for this album, I went back to a lot of Bill Withers, a lot of Al Green, a lot of that kind of stuff, a lot of their early recordings where they just, had smoking bands and threw them in a room and pushed the button,
Yeah. Well, so speaking of who you are touring with, who you're playing with now this season and who you have played with a lot in the past, I mean, is it a surreal experience for you? Do you still get starstruck when in the past when you play with somebody, share the stage with Bo Diddley or do what you're doing upcoming with Steve Miller this season?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing, especially you see somebody like, Bo Diddley. I mean, he's in every rock and roll history book within the first 3 or 4 pages, So it was pretty cool. And I got to see him when he was, he's late 70s, I guess, early 80s. And he was, still great, still putting on a show. I've been out with Buddy Guy a bunch. I mean, he's in his 80s and still absolutely killing it and on stage. So really, it's just, it's a good bit of inspiration to know that, you can continue on that path for a lot longer than what you think your shelf life might be, I guess.
Yeah, dude, there's a killer Bo Diddley recording. There's video of him at the at Hofstra University out on Long Island from mid 70s probably. Just killing. And there's from that same show or from that same week maybe there's the Allman Brothers Band and there's Curtis Mayfield also from that same college. It's outstanding. And yeah, dude, I was lucky enough to be able to see. This interview is not about me, I promise, but I need to tell you, well, the last day that B.B. King's club was open in Times Square here, it was 2 nights of Buddy Guy, and he, in his 80s, did that whole loop around the entire club, and he's close enough to play the guitar. If I wanted to, I could have touched the fretboard.
He still puts on one of the best shows. He's always playing behind his head and playing with his teeth. He's still doing all that stuff that a lot of people have lost that kind of vibe on stage, that showman kind of thing, and he still does it proper.
Yeah, still rocking the polka dots.
Yeah, totally.
Cool, man. The first one sounded great. Can you tell us what you're going to do second off of Halfway Home by Morning?
Sure. This song is called Quarter on the Ground, and it's a song I wrote for my mom about my Uncle Joe, who passed away a few years ago. And Joe was always the one who was always visiting, always checking in. And after he passed away, one of my other uncles said, I wish we could talk to Joe on the phone just one more time, and that gave me the idea for this one.
Cool.
Why can't you just pick up the telephone? I need to hear you say hello. Things will never be the way they used to be. It's just so hard to let it go. Yes, we've had some of the best of times. Even the worst was never all that bad. I wish we could talk one last time. We've already had our chance. I keep that paper in my pocket from when you wrote your number down. I take it out and I think of you every time I see a quarter on the ground. I keep your picture in the hallway, in a wooden frame upon the wall. Often I stop to remember how good it felt when you would call. The lines on the page have faded. The words are getting harder to read. I know what it says by heart. I keep it to keep you here with me. I keep that paper in my pocket from when you wrote your number down. I take it out and I think of you every time I see a quarter on the ground. Oh, every time I see a quarter on the ground. Oh, every time I see a quarter on the ground.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Can we talk a little bit about how Halfway Home by Morning was made? It
Yes,
sounded like it was relatively, the production process more involved, but not too dissimilar from what's happening here today, in that it was a group of musicians in a room, very limited overdubs. Can you talk about why you guys chose that
I wanted to make an album like that for a long time and just get great players, and a lot of the stuff like those recordings I referenced, that's what they all did. They just had great musicians in there, and they didn't do a whole lot of pre-production. We kind of let the musicians react to it and kept it pretty organic that way. I didn't want to give too much direction. We had fantastic musicians, and to tell them what to do is kind of stifling. I don't know, kind of defeats the purpose of having it in there. So, yeah, we went in over 4 days. Pretty much, we got 13 tracks in 4 days, really. And we start up around noon and do 3 tunes a day. Just put the band in the room, and horn players figured out their parts on the fly, and it was great. I loved recording that way.
Cool. Were those all Nashville dudes on the record, or are any of them in the touring band that you're taking around this season?
Yeah, when I'm out with my band, the bass player came from home, and the producer, Steve Dawson, he's in the band as well on this run. But other than that, yeah, it was like the drummer was from LA. The horn section was local, and backup singers were local, but keyboard players from Vancouver. Just kind of, now we're fortunate enough to be able to kind of, pick and choose who you want, really. So.
Cool. Well, I'm glad that's happening.
Yeah.
That's happening for you. That's an awesome position to be in. And so when are all of the shows that are on the books, they're all full band? Are you playing any solo?
No, mostly solo. Solo down here for the next few shows, and then when I get back home into Canada, I hook up with the band again. So that's a 9-piece. That's pretty much we're doing the album, as we recorded it, and then. When I do the stuff with Steve Miller, that's all solo. I tour mostly solo. The band's more of a luxury I can do around home more than anything. When it's close to home, so it's hard flying 13 dudes around. So.
Yeah, dude, I believe it. Well, dude, it sounds great like this. We appreciate you bringing it here. And so this is what the show will look like tonight in Ridgefield, Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
You're in Fall River, Mass. tomorrow night, and then City Winery, Boston, Saturday night. You're at the City Winery here in New York last night.
Yeah.
And all the dates are up at stubbyfingers.ca. Wonderful URL, by the way. I love that website. stubbyfingers.ca. All the dates are up there, and there are many, many dates announced. North American dates through October, Western Europe in December, and many more to come, it sounds
Absolutely,
like, too.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what you're going to do third and last off of Halfway Home by Morning?
This song is called Been My Last, and sappy love song.
All right.
Yeah. Now I've been in love a time or two, but it all fades to gray when compared with you. Right from the start and all the way through, it's the easiest thing that I'll ever do. What we got now, it was all worth the wait. I guess we've both made a couple mistakes. They brought me to you, so I won't take them back. If you were my first love, you would have been my last. If you were my first love, you would have been my my last. If you had walked up to me when I was 16, I would have driven you home in my old man's Capri. If I laid eyes on you when I was 22, I would have sold my guitar and bought a ring for you. But what we got now, it was all worth the wait. I guess we both made a couple mistakes. The past is the past, and we're not going back. If you were my first love, you would have been my last. If you were my first love, you would have been my last. 'Cause I love what you are, and I love what you're not. Yes, I love what you give, and I love what you've got. Making you happy is never that hard. You've got love in your eyes, you've got joy in your heart. What we got now, it was all worth the wait. Thank God that I found you before it was too late. The rest of our lives is all that we have. If you were my first love, you would have been my last. If you were my first love, you would have been my last. You're not my first love, but you're gonna be my last.
Cool. Matt, thanks for coming here and doing this. It's always a complete pleasure to hear and see you sing and play. And there are the internet. We've got a good crowd tuned in right now. Cool. To everybody out there, check out all the tour dates at stubbyfingers.ca. There are a ton of dates between now and the end of the year. There might even be 2020 dates announced. I'm not quite sure, but there
probably pretty soon. Yeah.
Are very many.
They're coming. Yeah.
And so ample opportunity to see Matt play live. Dude, travel safe up to Bridgeport to Ridgefield tonight. Yeah. Ridgefield, Connecticut. Hopefully the rain has passed. Travel safe through all those dates, and best of luck on Halfway Home by Morning. Thanks for the music, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks, man.